Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This week I am just out for a morning cruise in upstate New York. Just got out about 6 a.m., 6:30 a.m. Nothing crazy, nothing too early. Just not really knowing where I'm going or what I'm doing. Just out cruising and getting some shots. There was a beautiful fog earlier this morning, which added some ambiance and some texture and some atmosphere to the images. Shot a few already. The sun's up now. It's like 7:45 a.m. Eastern time. Like I said, just out cruising around, having a cup of coffee, getting some shots. We're in upstate New York visiting my son and daughter-in-law and grandson, and just having a good time. So that's what we're up to today, and not going to be doing a whole lot of vlogging. So what I'll do is get as much video as I can, and I'll talk you through a lot of the shots that I took and maybe process a couple. So alright, hey, thank you so much for stopping by the channel. It's always good to see you, and here we go. So this is one of the first spots that I stopped at. It's really close to my son's house. It is private property, so I didn't go on the property. I shot from the road, so I was a little bit limited with my compositions, but I really like this old barn, and had a nice time shooting it. I did kind of mess up. I forgot to change my ISO. It was left at 1250 for one or two of the shots. Outside of that, I really like the images, especially this square crop here.
For someone like me, I'd say I'm settled and pretty calm. I don't storm in the storm. If not me, then someone like
So I actually left the D850 at home on this trip. If you guys saw my video a couple of weeks ago, I took a fall at Starved Rock, nothing major, but I dropped the camera, and then the legs of my tripod were full of water. I turned the camera up, and all that water poured out of the tripod legs up through the ball head and into the D850, and not to mention I dropped it on the ground. And long story short, D850 needed a rest, so I'm working with the D500 today, and love that camera, especially for sports, wildlife, action. The only thing I don't like about that camera for landscape is its crop sensor. So I just brought two lenses with me, on this trip. My 24-70 on a crop sensor is not wide enough for some of the things I wanted to do today. So, oh well. So I was limited a little bit, but on the converse side of that, I get a little more reach, but I didn't see any deer. So that's what I wanted the extra reach for with the crop sensor camera. Put my 70-200 millimeter on, get a little more reach. I could be further away from deer and deer fawns, etc. But we haven't found any yet. So, but anyway, yeah, this is just a beautiful morning. Just happy to be out, and happy you guys are here and hanging out with me. So this is another place that's really close to my son's house. I actually shot this place before. Sometimes you can see deer down there getting drinks out of the creek, but just the mist and the light and the shadow and the obvious leading line of the creek taking you into that gorgeous light is what my composition was all about here. So I really, really like this. This is one of the strongest images I think I shot that morning. So now I'm starting to get out into the country a little bit, and this is something I don't usually get around my house. And what I mean by that is a great big wide open vista, and obviously the mist and the fog and the rolling hills really drew my eyes. So that's the shot I took, and I did darken the sky a little bit and bring the blue out of the sky, but that was it as far as the processing. Then it was back on the road again, just cruising around until I stumbled right upon this. I'm sorry I didn't get any video of it. Just a gorgeous, nostalgic, rustic old barn. The folks were out there working. They gave me the permission to come on to their property and shoot. And the sky, everything, the sky, the light, the everything, the barns, the tractor, it just seemed like it was put there for me to come take a picture of it, and I'm so glad that I stopped in. And then just a few miles down the road, I ran right into this, a leading line, a hill, and a beautiful farm right up ahead. So yeah, that was the next target.
We met. Would you like to move a little closer now? I'd like to be as close to you as I can get. If I could stop the time, I sure would. In this moment, I really wish I could. Do you feel the same way as I do? That feeling of just knowing that I love you. If you got the time, I'd like to stay a while. I'd like to fall asleep beside you on your bed.
All right, everybody. Hey, that's going to do it for today. Got a lot of pictures. The ones that kind of stand out in my head are the ones that I took early on in the morning when we had all that fog. Obviously, that brings a lot of atmosphere and just more texture, more depth to the images. And the ones with the horses. I've got a thing about horses. They're just beautiful animals. So are the deer. But yeah, so those are the ones that kind of stand out. And so hopefully a couple of those are good images. There wasn't much going on in the sky, but they had the rolling hills and stuff like that behind the horses. So we'll see. I think one of those that I shot of those horses will be pretty good. But that's it, gang. Hey, thank you very much. With that, I am Garrick, and I am your very best friend in the whole wide world. So don't forget to hit the like button if you liked it, and we'll see you next week. All right, thanks from upstate New York. We'll see you next week. All right, everybody, bye bye.
A little gray around the temples, but still way better looking than okay. I heard you and your missus had gone your separate ways. I guess I should feel sorry, but I for one still dream about those days when we played